One of the things that we'll learn as a new writer is to make the sentence more active. Certain words and phrases that make a sentence feel passive. And a lot of times those are paired with was. If you're in a writing group and they're like, yeah, you need to get rid of the was and the ing, like, and rewrite those to make it more active. Those are what we're going to focus on. Participles are verbs that act like adjectives and nouns. So they're also called verbals, and they come in two types, past and present. So, and then often the words they will end in an ed. For example, the cheese was packaged.
Perfect.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, making sure I get it right.
You got it
if
right.
I get it wrong, someone let me know in the comment section, because
I am certain you will be told if you got it wrong. But
right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think it's a tendency that you have when you're a writer to just do the was blah blah blah, was this, was that, and I only find, to be very honest, I only find it when I'm rereading. Like as I'm writing, I don't even notice that I'm writing it. So it's one of those editing things. It's not something that I think I can teach myself to not do from, just from when I'm writing.
And see, and for me, it was the opposite, because my first novel, I had a really tough critique partner. And she was like, you need to get rid of all the was, and so I had to train myself to not use it. Like, so, and it's hard to train yourself to rewrite the sentence, when you wanted to say, I was walking, and so you want to be able to, but it does sound a lot better. You say, I walk.
Yep.
And so these are going to be our top 5 in no particular order. And these are just examples of different types that you can find in your manuscript that are most often used when you're writing.
It's like me and Angie looked at our own manuscripts and found these 5 that we keep using
over and over again.
Correct.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's really easy to do. Number 5 was standing. So instead of saying was standing, I stood.
Yes.
He stood. She stood.
Yes. And to be honest with you, like I've even tried to eliminate the stood, because it's kind of like a
showing
passive. Yeah, exactly. So if I see the was standing, I try stood, and then I relook at the sentence and say, can I even eliminate that and just say it a different way? But sometimes you have to say he stood there.
And that goes for like number 4. So number 4 was eating.
Yeah.
Okay, or ate. So he ate.
Yeah.
Not was, he was eating, he ate.
Correct.
Or, you say, you show the action.
Yes.
He picked up a piece of, I don't know why I'm on cheese, because
But no, I agree with you. Like instead of saying he was eating cheese, you can say something about how good the cheese was, or have him say a comment about like, oh my gosh, what kind of cheese is this? I've never had it, or whatever. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's basically just training your brain to rewrite something to make it more descriptive, more, where you can see and like bring in the senses a little bit more. And so it's not just the basic, he was eating, or, you want something so that it just kind of brings the reader into the book. And that's what you want to rewrite.
Yeah.
And that's when you're doing your editing. That's what you want to do with your.
Exactly. And that there's going to be some eating in our books because, food. So,
yeah. All right. So number 3 was running. He ran.
This one I'm so guilty of doing, because there's always going to be some running in the books that we write, because there's always some action at some point, and running away from paranormal or supernatural beings is going to happen. So I have to go check my was running for sure. I actually, in the one that I'm finishing up, for sure I'm gonna have to do that search, because I'm thinking there's some that I probably skipped. Although you can also make the run into a different verb if you're hurt and you're hobbling or you're staggering or whatever, but
sprinting.
Yeah, that's it. So, but definitely I'm looking for the was running in mine. And I know there's some running in yours.
Oh, mine always have running. There's always running in the story. And so when I write it, I want to maybe describe how they're breathing, the feet pounding on the ground. But then, but you have to try and make it, where it just doesn't sound like you're watching what's going on.
Yes.
Make the reader feel like they're actually participating in it. So, And that's the difference. It's like when you're saying I was, or their character was running, he was running, you're not bringing in anything other than so people know, and they're imagining people running, but like you bring in the feet of, the sound of feet hitting the pavement, or like other sounds, or what the person is smelling, and the action, it just trying to bring in those senses in order to develop the story a little bit more.
I agree 100% with you.
Or you just say he ran.
Yeah. There are, there's circumstances where the only thing you have to say is he ran, and you don't need to do anything more, because you know exactly that you've described everything before, and he ran is the last thing you need to tell them, and then that's it.
Yep, that's it.
But he ran is better than was running.
Number 2 was hoping. So that one's a little trickier. I hope, she hoped.
Yeah, I hoped.
But yeah, hoped.
I use that a lot, and I eliminate a lot of them when I edit, because you don't necessarily need to say I hoped, or he hoped, or was hoping. Like there are some times obviously where you can say it, but like I think sometimes it's just I want to be in the character more, so I don't need to say I hoped he thought the same or something, like, so it goes with the, like when we did our adverbs, hopefully, like I don't know, I just use those 2 things and I remove them after.
And then number 1 was staring. And so that one we use a lot. Like I noticed that I used that one a lot. He was staring at the whatever it is.
I would go further. I would say was staring, was looking, was glancing, was gazing, was like, all of those.
Yeah.
I use quite a bit in the first draft.
And then you go back and you run a search for was, and then hopefully it pops up. It's
10,000 of your 50,000 words are
right.
Was, and then you remove them.
Yeah.
But again, this is one of those where you have to judge as the writer. Do you really even need to say that the person was staring at something, or is that implied? Or
it is depending on the situation. So like if there's like a showdown between the bosses,
that's right,
and they're like having a staring contest. He was staring at me like he was about to do something wrong.
That's right. Or if he finds something, like in my case, because I'm more science fiction, I would say like he finds something brilliant emanating from the soil, and all you can do is stare at it, like, or something like that. Yeah, you can absolutely. But there's some times where you just, what this is good. I tend to use staring, glancing, looking when I need a pause. Like your characters are talking, and then they need to pause because it needs to like settle in. And then I'll say something like he stared at her, because I need that pause in the discussion, their conversation. And sometimes I'll go back, and when I see that, I remove it and I put some action instead. Like instead of he staring at her, like I'll say like he moved away, or he went to sit on the couch, or he drank his lemonade, or something like that, so that there's something more than just he was staring.
And I think when I use it, it's more of when he's studying the person, or like the characters are studying the other person, and they're staring at them for a specific reason. Maybe they're looking to see if there's any expression on their face, or they're staring just because they are mesmerized. Oh, Christie, you're so beautiful.
Lionel.
Lionel. Yes. With his beautiful eyes was staring, right? Like, and then like that, his beautiful eyes, he was staring at me. Like there's a way to say it where it's just not was staring, because that's where the issue is. And so and then like we said, there's sometimes you want to use it, sometimes you don't want to use it, but you try to avoid. If you can learn how to write the sentence without using the participle, then it's so much easier when you're done, because then you don't have to go back and edit and try and remove them. But like Christie said, it's not easy. Like it's not easy to retrain yourself after you've been doing something for years. You just use your search and replace.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that you shouldn't stop yourself from writing. Like, I don't think it's better to just write something than try to edit everything that you're writing. So just get it on the page. And if you're writing the participles, then cut them out after. But don't stop yourself from writing, or try to, like avoid it if you can. But I would rather that you wrote 10,000 words with like 3,000 of them was blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And search for it later. And to be honest with you, like even the verb was, we can do a whole section on that one time. Like, I mean, you can usually eliminate the verb was with something that's more descriptive. So we can do a whole show about that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it. Those are our top 5 participles that we avoid in our work in progresses. And if you have any that are in your top 5, please list them in the comment section. If you enjoyed these videos, please like and subscribe because we want to know that you're there watching us. And if there's any suggestions for future videos that you have, just let us know in the comment section as well.
Bye. Until next
Bye.
time.